You were at my 30th birthday party, you drunk bitch. Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 16 of the Adult Angst podcast. That little bling in there is going to sound really good. We're running a tight ship over here. Welcome back. It's episode 16. Did I just say that? Right now, I'm recording this intro at Chloe's house. We just got done seeing the goddamn comedy jam. And goddamn, there was comedy and they jammed. All right. It was really cool. Mark Maron headlined. It was fucking awesome. Then he played guitar. And what else? There was that really funny woman before him, Karen.
His name we of course can't remember.
She was so good. No, I think her last name was a little confusing, which it sucks having like a complicated last name. That's why I always fear like keeping my real last name like Sciulla. Like, does anybody ever remember Sciulla?
You spelled it differently, maybe.
I spell it kind of like the right way, so it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like Sciu, and then everyone's like Squilla. It's stupid. But anyway, the goddamn comedy jam was a really great show, and I'm excited because next week I have some guests on the podcast that are involved in that project, and I'm really happy to have them on my humble podcast. I think it'll be really fun. So, is it Kilgraph? Karen Kilgraph? It was like something like that. Yeah, she was great. So I just want to maybe express why I was happy that I saw her set, because let's see, Karen Kilgariff. That's Kil Gariff. She kind of just went up there and was like, oh my God, like I haven't done stand up in like 6 to 8 months and I'm like really rusty. And she was like really honest about it. And then she also said that she dropped out for like 5 years and just kind of like would Google search and see like her friends coming up and feeling bad about herself. And that of course like went into a really good joke. And I just was sitting there in the audience, but like honestly, like just relating to her really hard. And sometimes, with comedy and music, it's just nice when you can not only laugh, but sit there and go, oh, wow, I feel less alone now. Anyone else? Well, now I feel alone again. You're just staring at me, Chloe. Chloe has a really good way of making me feel alone. So what's going on this podcast today? Charlotte and I catch up. She is, of course, still on the East Coast. Chloe is in this episode as well. Chloe is my best friend here in Los Angeles. We have ventured to Chicago together. Chloe was actually present when I chipped my front tooth. Yeah. Do you remember that? You remember it. I know you don't. It was so stupid. Another reason why I'm happy I'm currently not drinking. We were at Drake Peterson's show for Iration down in San Diego, and for some reason I thought it'd be a great idea to hold a beer bottle and jump up and down on a bed in a hotel room, and then not only just jump up and down on the bed. I know you're pointing at me. I remember what happened. I did one of like the trampoline, like as a 7-year-old, like ass lands. Like I just was like, maybe I can like put my leg straight up, land on my ass, and hop on the floor. That did not happen. I landed kind of like on my ass, but my knees shot up, which hit my beer bottle into my mouth. And I chipped my goddamn front tooth. And it will probably come out in this podcast just as, episodes go on. But I'm very, very anal and paranoid about my teeth, to the point where I have teeth falling out dreams. And the fact that one of my front teeth chipped off in front of Chloe. How did that experience make you feel?
One, it's one of the only good teeth you have left. Two, it wasn't beer, it was cider.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was way less cool. It was an apple cider. Alcoholic, though. Thank you. There was alcohol in there. Barely. I miss apple cider. That shit was good. So sugary. I think I would get more high on the sugar because
I can't drink it. I don't get hangovers except for when I drink. You're going to drop everything right now.
I just went and stuck the mic in Chloe's face, and the inner face went flying towards both of us. Well, so we would go to West Hollywood, and I would drink 6 apple ciders while I was there, and In an Angry Orchard apple cider, there is 23 or 28 grams of sugar per fucking bottle. So you drink 6 of those. I cannot believe I didn't go into like diabetic shock,
And your blood becomes as thick as molasses.
which would be very delicious if you got so drunk you decided to cannibalize me. I don't know. What? That could happen. I've watched a lot of like My Strange Addictions, and there's a really good one on there where this chick like drinks her friend's blood because like she's a vampire, and her friend just comes over and like cuts himself, and she just goes, starts lapping it up. I mean, are any of you guys listening with earbuds? Because I love doing that into a microphone if someone has earbuds in. Okay. Well, let's start the episode. Welcome back to the show, and thanks for tuning in. And all right, here we go. We're gonna get started. That's it. 3, 2, 1. All right. Yeah, I mean, like on a scale of like 1 to 10, like 10 being the nicest, I would put you.
Oh God. Be real. Be honest. Tell me. I know I'm really not that nice. I think I am, but then I think, oh, am I though?
I think you're like a 5, actually. I think you're like right in the middle because like you can either be like really nice or like really fucking like blunt and like not care.
Yeah.
Like if you're angry and like how someone else will take that. And I think that puts you at a 5 because you're definitely not inconsiderate, but I mean, I've seen you get mad like over a donut.
Yeah.
And it was pretty intense.
Yeah, that was not my brightest shining moment. I got really pissed. I was like, everything was irritating me. And the donut,
Dude.
I had bought it intentionally to perk myself up. And I had repeated myself 3 or 4 times to this girl. Straight up repeated myself over and over to make sure because she didn't seem to get it. And then she literally did the opposite of what I asked. And I was like, bro, fuck, really? Like, how hard is it to fucking serve donuts? Like, there's literally 10 kinds of donuts in the shop. This is not a difficult thing, you know? Like, I think it more irritated me that she's incompetent. That I'm like,
Well, I just like, when you're in New York and something's wrong, you're allowed to like yell as loud as possible about it.
oh yeah.
And
if anything,
you're yelling on the train. Yeah,
Get
you're
more
yelling
personal
on the
space.
train about this to me. And these 2 women across from us
Oh,
are like
yeah.
looking.
Like
and you're
I'm
like, I don't
crazy.
even want the donut. I don't even want it. And then you're like, do you want it? And I'm like, she doesn't fucking want it. And then she's like, no.
And that's the thing in New York, like everybody has those days and they're all just like, calm the fuck down. You're really irritating right now. Like nobody's intimidated. Nobody
No.
cares. Everybody's like, can you stop being a selfish asshole on the train and causing a tantrum? Like you're being a brat. And I was totally being a brat.
Yeah. I see, like the tantrums I think I've thrown on the train the most have been like me sobbing to myself. Like it's been like a
What?
very like just sad.
Oh. No,
Yeah, I've cried a lot on the train.
I've definitely cried a lot, but that was because of my ex. Like that was
Breakup train cries.
yeah, gotta love those. I mean, I legitimately lost count of them. You know, I mean, when somebody breaks up with you over the phone and then says like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna be gone by the time you get home, you're never gonna see me again, I'm gonna move all my shit out by the end of yeah, that's a little bit like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna be crying on the way home. So on the train, on the ferry, and then I get home and he's there and he's acting like everything's fucking cool, like this is the way that like nothing happens, and I'm like living in a parallel universe. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I thought you were literally gonna be gone. I've got like makeup stained down my face, and I was in that like I don't give a fuck sort of mindset. And I come home and he's like comes and gives me a hug and a kiss, like, oh, how was your day? And like acts like it didn't just happen, and I just feel totally crazy.
So Italian.
So fucking Italian. I'm like, this is why I am never dating an Italian man ever again. It was so funny talking to your mother the other day, I swear.
Yeah,
And
she's very Italian.
Yeah. And like I love Italians. I wouldn't have dated one otherwise. I loved his family. I think it was harder to leave because of his family. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
I would have left like 2 years ago, but I adored his family.
Well, here, so I'm just like obviously living in California now, and I just went to lunch with my
Right.
mom and my dad. They came and visited me at the mall as I
Yeah.
was dressed as the
I
bunny.
love it. Love it. I am so obsessed.
Yeah, yeah. I need to send you. I think it's gonna be my next album cover for like whatever musical project I put out. But
I think it'd
so
be
basically,
a great. I really think that it would be a great comedy album EP cover, like 4 really funny tracks. I love
okay,
it.
I will post the photo to like the Patreon or the fucking website or whatever.
Yes.
But basically, I know I'm going to tell you about going to lunch with my parents, but before that, they met me at the mall to
Okay.
go basically sit with me as I'm dressed as the goddamn Easter bunny. Just like I'm 30. My life's going great.
Aren't you so proud of me, mom and dad?
You know what the fucked up thing is, dude?
They are,
So-
right? Like that's awesome. I don't know. I think
it's
cool.
it's like I'm having fun with it. Like I'm there
Yeah.
for 4 hours in this hot suit, and I'm like, you know what? Either I could sit here and just I have like podcasts and like music playing in my headphones, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I could either sit here and just like zone out, or I can like dance and like
Have
like
fun.
mess with all the kids and like
Yeah,
have
it's
fun.
cute.
Dude, I honestly I kind of like made it fun for myself, but like at the same time I'm like, what the fuck is my life right now?
Dude, whatever. I
So-
mean, I think you're, because I remember seeing you interact with some kids before, and you're really good with kids, you know, and you just have a great personality. I feel like being around kids for you you just like have fun talking to them, and
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
communicate
No, I-
really well. I think you're
Kids are
honestly
fine.
great for that job. Yeah, like see, that's a perspective I don't have. With certain kids, there's been plenty of kids that I loved, and then there's plenty of kids that I'm like, I don't have the energy for you.
Okay, well, here's what I thought was kind of funny. And my parents put it into perspective. But like these parents, they want to sit their kids with the Easter bunny, even though like the kids are freaking the fuck out.
Yeah,
So they're
'cause
like
it's like a
crying
giant
and
person and a
screaming.
bunny.
Yeah, they're crying and screaming. So I have a photo 'cause I took the photo of the computer screen 'cause like me and my coworkers like laughed our asses off afterwards.
Yeah.
So this little baby, like he's like 2 years old, gets plopped on me, the bunny, and he's
Okay.
freaking out. So then the mom goes, "Hey, can like we have the bunny hide in the bunny house behind the whatever it is, behind this bench, and then like kind of poke your head out so he doesn't know you're behind him."
That sounds
And I'm
so
like,
creepy.
It's so, dude, I made it so creepy. So basically, I get in the bunny house. They sit
Oh.
the kid back on the bench,
Yeah.
and then my coworker knocks on the house for me to poke my head out, and I do it so slowly, just like poke my head out, and the kid just knows something's fucked up. So he starts to run for it as he's crying, and they snap the picture anyway. So we basically have this kid mid-run crying with me in a bunny suit popping out of the house.
Oh my god.
And it's the fucking funniest thing.
Oh my god. Are you fucking serious? I'm trying so
It's
hard to
hilarious.
Girl, I'm literally crying. This is the funniest shit.
Yeah, and then I think it's like at the end of the picture at the bottom it says like my
Ah.
Easter moments 2019.
That's so great.
It's so good. And then
It's
my
like-
mom, since she was there visiting me, she took a video of this kid screaming and crying sitting next to me.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's been interesting. So anyway, yesterday was my first day as the mall rabbit, and I had fun with it. And it was time for my shift to like be over, and basically walk back to like the break room to basically like tag in the next bunny.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, oh, I wonder who like the other person is gonna be. I hope
Yeah.
they're cool and just like down on their luck and can't find a job. Like, what's this other bunny gonna be like?
Yeah.
So I go in the room and I see him, and I'm like, hey, dude, what's up? And he was like, hey.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
god.
Oh,
Like the sad bunny. Jesus.
and I was like, yeah, dude, super sad. And I was like, oh,
fuck.
I'm like, is this your first time doing it? He's like, yeah. And I kind of like look at him, and he's like not
No.
making eye contact. He's like really overweight. He's not making eye contact with me.
No.
And I like tried like talking a little bit to him, and like he finally looked at me, and that's when I kind of was like, oh, like something's a little off about this dude. which is fucking fine. You know, like
Yeah,
good for
but
him
what
for
do you
getting a
mean
job.
off, like mentally?
Yeah, like he's not all there.
Oh,
And
okay. Like
but for me, I
Asperger's
was
or
like,
like what? Like maybe like a
e-
social disorder sort of thing?
maybe like a social disorder.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
sucks.
Something.
It's
It's just
sad.
he's not all there.
Well,
But
that's
like I
awesome
was
that
like,
he's getting out. Like it's maybe it makes it easier for him to interact with people because he has a mask on. Like
I mean, probably, but for selfishly, I wanted him to be like cool and chill, so I could have felt better about myself. Because if he
you're
was like
so
just like
fucking
this,
selfish. Instead of being
I
like
am.
excited for this dude, you're like, I wanted to like have a bond with the other buddy, and I wanted
Yeah.
to feel like. I mean, I get it. Like, but that I feel like you're comparing yourself to this guy. Like, you wanted somebody else to be struggling because you feel like you're struggling, and you want to feel.
well,
Like-
yeah, like what if he's like just this like punk kid who's like, yeah, I'm in a band, and like I did this because it was on Craigslist, and I would have been like, cool, dude, like that's sick. You want to like get high next time before the shift because our lives are fucking dirt.
I
And
thought
then we
that
would
you
have been
were-
like,
wait, did you
yeah,
start
but like
smoking weed
instead,
again?
no, I mean,
Oh, okay.
I
was
smoked a
gonna
little bit
say.
of weed the other day, but whatever.
Did you?
Oh my god, I'm not sober anymore.
Oh my god.
I need to take like a vote and see if the good news, bad news, good news segment is necessary for adult angst. Because last week I had Neil on the podcast, and he just kind of made a good point. He was like, "There's so much bad shit going on. Like, why even like spread more news on the bad shit?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of think it's funny to like make fun of it and like try to make a joke out of the bad shit. Maybe, or is that like insensitive? I don't know. Am I insensitive?
I don't know, dude.
Possibly. Chloe's giving me a look right now.
No, I think people also need to learn to laugh at shit. I think we're hypersensitive, and I think that there's a difference between holding yourself accountable and like acknowledging that something is, a delicate topic versus being able to laugh at something. And we're not here. We are here to talk about some serious topics. But if we're making a joke, clearly it's a joke, and we're not out to be malicious. And if somebody takes it that way, they're probably being hypersensitive. Like, my actions are never going to carry over from any dumb shit that I might say in satire. Let's be real. I'm never gonna be aggressive or violent. Like, I go and I protest and I donate and whatever. It doesn't, like, if people take that seriously, that's their problem, and they're probably, whatever.
Well, I don't know if it's so. My concern with doing the segment isn't to please anybody or to like keep them happy.
You're just wondering if it's adding to it.
It's more so like, is that something that I should even like provide on my platform? Like, is that something I want to be standing behind with, being like, all right, like, and in today's news, like so and so, like, okay, basically this was one that I edited out the other day. It was the news was an intern, I think, like in Kentucky or something. It was his first day at work, and a disgruntled employee came in and shot the whole place up and killed him on his first day. I know, killed him on his first day of work.
That's fucking awful.
Terrible intern too. And I said, the good news out of that bad news story is that he doesn't need to be an intern anymore. And the bad news is obviously, the way that happened is because he died.
That's pretty dark.
So is that too dark? Is it not funny?
I think that one was particularly dark. To be very honest, yeah, that's pretty. That's
Chloe's
pretty sad.
shaking her head.
I think it's a little too soon, but that's me personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chloe's just shaking her head. She's like, no. Am I insensitive, Chloe? Do you want to chime in?
I don't think that you're insensitive. I just think no.
Like the podcast doesn't need to have a shitty news segment.
That's really what it was. It was just shitty. It was like, it's not funny,
Like it's not even funny to shine a light on like the shitty things that are happening.
Yeah,
I think that you're funnier than that. So like when we were doing it, I was like not about it, and then there was the other stuff. So I was like,
Yeah. That failed episode and failed segment was with Chloe.
I mean, I kind of like I just.
Oh wait, hold on, Charlotte. So, do you really want to tell why? Okay, all right. So, Chloe's gonna jump on the mic real quick, Charlotte, and just explain to you and to, like I said, whatever listeners have subscribed to this torture.
You're welcome.
Yes, you guys are all welcome, especially people in France. Why? But here's Chloe explaining why we scrapped her episode.
So the reason we scrapped my episode is I was searching for bad news. And when I was scrolling through the bad news, I actually found a news story about my friend who had been murdered 2 years ago. And it was a news story about how her killers were finally, sentenced and convicted. And it was like in detail talks about like how they killed her, and it was very gruesome. It's
Oh
very
my
bad.
God. Yeah, it's a little too
And
personal.
then Allie's like, "Oh, well, let's talk about your other friends who've died." So that's why we scrapped that episode.
No. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
And I'm like,
That's just,
Chloe.
it's just not funny. Like, that's not funny. If you want to have a serious
Yeah.
conversation about it, yeah, but that's,
Charlotte's like, it's not
personally-
funny. That's not funny. And I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was interesting.
Why are we all
Fucking-
laughing about it right now?
You guys
Like,
are
this is-
whips.
Give Chloe the microphone, because her fucking laugh right now is gold.
Oh,
Fucking gold.
believe me, I'm getting the laugh on the recording. It's inevitable.
So great. So into this.
I think this episode will finally lose those French listeners I've been trying to lose the whole time.
Why do you want to? No, man.
Because French people don't tip. I'm saying it. You don't tip. And
Okay, but they also have a living wage there. Like, they actually make more money. Like, you should be so happy as to live in France where you have better rights. And they have the shortest work week. Like, on average, I think it's 35 to 40 hours.
I don't know.
And-
if there's any
and
French listeners
realistically-
left, let us know how much you work. And
I think that they have
answer.
they have a pretty good quality of life. Like, their
yeah,
laws are
let us
really
know
good.
how much you work a week, and then also answer me this: why, when you come over here, you don't tip? Why? Why is that a thing?
Girl, because I just told you, because they just culturally don't do that there, and they probably just forget. Just like, I don't know, man. I got nothing for you. I got nothing apart from that. I think it's a cultural thing.
I'm not even mad about it. I don't give a shit. But I
Lies.
guess, yeah, I mean, it could make sense. Like, they don't tip over there. So when they come over here, they're like, oh, I didn't know that you
Yeah.
had to tip over here.
And a lot of people really don't, you know. And I mean, it's the same thing that you used to do when you worked at the jazz club. Of like, was there a reason that you didn't tip?
I mean, yeah, usually. Yeah.
Did
at
I
the jazz
tell you what
club.
happened? Did I tell you what happened the other day when I went to dumplings, when I had the girlfriend up in town? We went to Chinese soup dumplings.
Uh-huh.
And-
You said it like it was a strip club. I went down to dumplings.
Sorry, I went.
That was a great strip club
That'd
name.
be a great strip club name.
Welcome to Dumplings.
Oh man. So we went down to my favorite dumpling house. Sorry, not.
I
Dumplings,
also want
but
to.
my
I also
favorite
want to
dumpling
say I
house.
don't know why I like did it all like honky tonk. Like welcome to Dumplings.
It does sound like a southern strip club. Like that should definitely exist in like Alabama or
Yeah.
Texas.
Dumplings
right.
strip club.
Yeah, we got that buffet lunch special. You just let us know if you're hungry. We'll send some dumplings your way if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Ew.
Mm.
So
I just feel like they
anyways.
have like one of those like country style doors that like swing open.
Oh yeah. Oh, for
know?
sure. Onto the stage. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. 100%.
I would go to, if we went to like Alabama together and there was a strip club called Dumplings, we're gonna go.
There's so many ifs.
We should
so
look that
many
up if
ifs.
that
Why would we
exists.
even be in Alabama? Like, what, we're gonna end up in Mobile for some kind of pride festival? I don't understand.
That might be okay. I mean, maybe we can go see like
It's humid as shit in Alabama. Your hair is not gonna straighten. We're gonna be having curly hair walking around everywhere. I hope you realize that. If you've ever been to Alabama, it's real humid.
I've never been.
really
Have you been to
humid.
Alabama?
Yes, girl, I'm from the South. Jesus, I've been all over Alabama. Well, not
Wow.
all over, but I've been there a couple of times. Yeah.
Well, God. Okay. Well, what were you gonna tell me? You're gonna tell me something.
Well, anyways, I was gonna say about tipping. I went out to have soup dumplings with some girlfriends of mine who were visiting, and it's one of those kind of places, real cheap, low key, and you share tables. It's communal sort of thing, and we're at this big round table, and there's two other parties. It's just individuals, so one woman, one man. They're not together. We're just all five of us sharing this table, and the bills come, and the woman gets her bill, and you can see, her bill. I could see it was about $33, $32, and she puts down $35 and gets ready to just walk away. And
What
she essentially left like $1 and change tip. It was like 33 and change. Well, and so she's getting ready to get up and go, and the head waitress comes over because she's real smart. She's dealt with this so many times. Because I go there all the time. I recognize her behavior. She's on top of her shit. She's the manager. So she comes over and she counts out the change or counts out the cash rate as this woman's getting ready to walk away. And she's like, "Oh, tip isn't included. Was there a reason that you only left $1 and like XYZ?" And she says this out loud in a very packed restaurant. And I just look at her, this woman, and I'm thinking, like, you just got called out. And if I was her, I would have done the same shit, because I just sat there and I'm like, this woman was like provided amazing service. This woman, the customer got her meal, all of her food, multiple courses, multiple dim sum, dumpling rounds.
Yeah.
Like, within a 30-minute period. I mean, they were on top of it. She got her food instantly, round and round and round. Additional dim sum orders, and she just was about to walk out, not even tipping 10%. Like,
so what did the lady say?
She was American. Oh, she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize tip wasn't included." Like, she tried to act all coy, like, "Oh, I didn't realize."
That,
yeah, like bullshit.
It's
like
common.
You left that change thinking that was the tip, and you're American. You can't say this. You're being real, just cheap. And it's a nice, cheap restaurant. Like, it's a good value for what it is, Like, why are you being cheap at a good value? Like, that's like wanting a discount on something 50% at Walmart. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, over at the jazz club, I had one woman say, because when I was being the floor manager, I had to go up to this table and go, "Excuse me, was there a problem? Why didn't you leave a tip? Did you want to help your waitress out? I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. Is there a reason you didn't tip?" And she said, "No, I just didn't want to." And I was like,
what a bitch. I mean, at least she owned it,
dude,
though. I have to say, at least she owned it.
Yeah, it like stopped me dead in my tracks. I was like,
it's disarming.
Okay, all right, cool. I was like,
I'll just let your waitress know that you're a total cunt. Thanks.
Yeah, because you can't be rude back to them. So you're just like,
yeah,
all right, cool. Have a great night.
I think it's fucked up. I think it's really fucked up. Like, she just acknowledged it. She's like, "Yeah, I don't think that woman deserved to be paid, and I have no reason why. Just didn't feel like it."
Well, I think moral of the story is, I know the French don't tip, whatever. But here in America,
God, hating on the French, man. Have you?
Well, that's not my point.
Have you been to France?
No.
Right.
Don't interrupt my point. My point is,
okay.
I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm making a point. My point is that here in America, we should pay servers and people in the service industry, a living wage. That would be cool if we weren't relying on people to tip us. And there should be health care for all. But, no one wants to put me in charge, right?
I mean,
Chloe's shaking her head.
I probably
no.
wouldn't vote for you just because I think you're really nice and you have a lot of good ideas, but I know how well you spell and do math. No, it has everything to do with the fact that you don't really read the news.
I don't read the news, except for terrible news.
I would need my leader who's making decisions to be a little bit more informed.
That's true. Just
being real. Yeah, you're not as well informed as you should be to be leading anything.
Yeah. Like even today,
research more,
with the mob info, I didn't even get the family name right. I'm like, who? I said Gotti. It was Gambino. I don't even know that
I know.
Shit. I'm the worst.
Yeah, exactly. And you're Italian too. Like, how is it that I know more about the crime families that are active? And
I'm the worst Italian.
Like, you really are. I think I'm more Italian than you are culturally.
I know. I think you're right. Well, okay, Charlotte, I want to wrap this up. I've been keeping all these episodes under an hour. We'll obviously talk off of this because we do.
I know.
We do that.
And I feel like we have so many more podcasts to do. We have so much to cover. It will be good to catch up with you. We'll have to do this again soon.
I hate when you act like that.
Am I being too friendly again? This is what we're circling back to Charlotte's attachment.
Yeah,
issues?
yeah. You're like, we have so much to catch up on, and I'm so happy.
I'm sorry that I care about you. I'll just suppress all of my feelings and just work on being an ice cold-hearted bitch.
Ice queen. No, here's the thing. I don't not like that you do that because like it makes me annoyed with you. It makes
you
me
uncomfortable.
Feel uncomfortable. Yeah, like you make me like feel sweaty, and I'm like,
You feel sweaty.
Yeah, like you like say all
Gross.
this. You're like, I miss you so much, and I love you, and like I want to catch up with you, and I'm over here just like, This is weird.
Oh my God, that's so much anxiety.
See, like the way that my friendships usually work is like Chloe and I, we just like shit on each other and like we're dicks to each other and then we just like hang out all day. So like I think today like Chloe and I have probably already insulted each other like 10 times.
Oh
It is
yeah, and
rude.
I don't really like to insult my friends. I like to be really complimentary and build people up.
No, you do. I've noticed whenever I talk shit on myself, you're like, hey, don't say that about yourself. That's wrong. And I feel like if I was in front of Chloe, she'd be like, yep, you said it. That fucking bitch.
Let's podcast again soon. I don't miss you at all.
Thank you. Good. No, now I want you to miss me. Fuck. Cool.
I'm just gonna play hard to get for a while.
Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah.
I guess I miss you. I miss you too.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Hey guys,
Allie, your most recent STD test.
my recent STD test was clean. It was.
About as clean as this floor.
It was. I mean, we're not. I mean, how recent is recent though? It's, recent to you might be way different than what recent means to me. All right, where am I going with this? You guys, I just wanted to come back and say if you are a fan of the podcast, you might already know this, but I'll remind you in case you don't. New episodes are out every Thursday. We are also on SoundCloud. I'm putting some of the stuff up on YouTube, so I'm getting around to that. And on whatever streaming service you use, if it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever random little ones there are out there that I might not know about, like and subscribe. All right, cool.